Hi there, I'm Anna at VSAC, and I'm here talking with Tracy Jones, who's going to tell us a little bit more about the kind of work she does. So Tracy, I'll kick it off to you. Can you start by introducing yourself and telling us a little bit more about your program and the kind of job opportunities it presents?
Yeah, absolutely. My name again is Tracy Jones, and I work with NFI Vermont, Northeastern Family Institute, and I am the director of the Child and Family Supports Contract, which is directly contracted with the Department of Children and Families. So all of our referrals come directly from the Department of Children and Families, and we provide a variety of services to families that have DCF involvement that are really geared towards enriching the family's voice and engaging them in the process of creating child safety and working towards reunification.
That's great, thanks. And you talked a little bit about this, but can you tell us a little bit more about what this kind of work entails and maybe walk us through what a typical day might look like for someone in the field?
Sure. I would start by saying there is no typical day. We really ask our staff to be very flexible and adaptive based on the needs of the clients that we are working with. So there's really a balance of direct time with the clients and documentation time of capturing your notes around the work that you've done with the clients. That direct time can really vary. It can look like collaborating with community partners, connecting with families, with other agencies within the community. And we're providing a variety of services, again, like I said before, and some of them are around facilitation. So we have a variety of meetings that we facilitate for families to help them to create a plan with their providers. We also support parent-child contact for families that have been separated, and we offer parent education through that. And then another piece of the work that we do is some investigative work, really digging in and helping to identify extended family members for children who are in DCF custody. So your day can really vary depending on which service you're providing and where you're at in that service.
That's great, thanks. What do you think someone doing this work would say are some of their favorite things about it?
For sure, I think many people would say the privilege of being able to be a part of somebody's success story. Not all of our families do reach that successful reunification, but when we are able to do that, it is just so rewarding to be a part of that. And I think also our families are working with the systems, and that can be incredibly intimidating. And so the opportunity to help families have a voice when they are feeling under the pressure of systems, providers, the DCF case, really just being able to help our families be a part of the process and have a voice and be heard.
That's great, thanks. And I think you may have hinted at this a little bit in your last answer, but what would you say are some of the most challenging parts of this work?
Yeah, the challenging part is sometimes it's really sad and it's hard to see a family not be able to reunify with their children. Um, and sitting in it. So even when they are not successful, oftentimes we are still sitting in the process with them. And it can be very hard to sit with a parent that you suspect might be self-sabotaging or is disengaging. Or maybe you're sitting with a family that's facing so many systemic barriers that it just feels overwhelming and defeating for them. And that can be a really hard place to sit in.
Yeah, for sure. Can you talk a little bit about what kind of educational background does somebody need to get into this kind of work?
I would say that we really look at three different areas. So we look at education and we look at personal experience and professional experience. So if an applicant is lacking in one area, we would look to see that they have qualifications in one of the other three areas.
That's great. And what does career advancement look like in this kind of work? I know you've talked about it being kind of a stepping stone to some other opportunities. If you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, there are quite a bit of opportunities. Within the program, we do have several different positions within the program. So there are opportunities to advance within. Outside of the program, the larger NFI agency, NFI Vermont has several programs all throughout the state. And then you have the larger overarching agency of NFI that is spread out throughout the East Coast in several different states. And so there are many opportunities for advancement within our larger agency into other areas of mental health work. And then beyond that, I would say that when you are in this role, you work so closely with all of the other agencies within our community, namely DCF, that there is quite a bit of an opportunity to advance in the field of child welfare or other agencies that you might come into contact with throughout this work.
That's great. Thanks. And can you talk a little bit about the kinds of benefits that this work offers?
So this is a fully benefited position. The family engagement specialist position is 40 hours a week, fully benefited, provides your typical health insurance, vision, dental, 403B, which is a nonprofit investment vehicle. We also offered paid time off, disability, life insurance, all of your normal things. We also offer tuition reimbursement and mileage reimbursement. And in terms of that tuition reimbursement, there's quite a few different grants and programs that we have access to through our agency. And then finally, though, I would add my personal favorite of the benefits to working for this agency is our culture. We are an agency that highly values our staff and their self-care. We provide quality supervision. We host various staff retreats throughout the year. We really highly prioritize training and furthering our education. And we are really committed to creating an equitable and just work environment. We're just very committed to creating better lives for our clients and ourselves.
That's great. Thanks. So if a student or someone who doesn't yet have the right qualifications for this work is interested in pursuing it, what would you recommend they do to become qualified? Like, is there education or volunteer works or classes, projects at home, that sort of thing that they could do?
Yeah, I would go back to those 3 areas that we look at: education, personal experience, and professional experience. And I would really take a look at which areas am I lacking in of those 3, and how can I begin to get some more exposure in one of those areas, whether that be furthering your education, exploring some volunteer work where you would have an opportunity to really engage with children and families around education, safety, and developmental growth. There are a lot of fields where you can create the foundation and have some transferable skills into this work.
That's great. Thanks. Is there anything else you would like to add or share?
I think the last thing I would add is really we look for people who are passionate about this work and who truly believe that every person is worthy of a second chance and every person is capable of change, because that's what we're in the business of doing here, is really supporting families with a second chance and an opportunity to do things differently.
That's great. And I have one more question to add, actually. If someone does feel like they're qualified and they're interested in applying for this, where should they go? What are their next steps?
So we are posted on Indeed, but you also could go straight to our website, which is nfivermont.org, and explore the careers drop down.
That's great. Thank you so much, Tracy.
Thank you.